previous lesson, we talked about algorithm, and we said algorithm is the step-by-step procedure taken to solve a problem. We did not just discuss about algorithm, we also talk about the examples of algorithm. We said we have examples of algorithm like making a cup of tea, algorithm for washing the hands, algorithm for Peter's Saturday's activity, algorithm to show kids activity from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. and also algorithm for a business woman. Let's see our content for today. Our content for today is programming shapes. We'll be talking about programming shapes, how we can use the programming shapes to make a flowchart, and also we'll be talking about examples of programming shapes. We have different examples of programming shapes. We'll be talking about them one after the other. So I want you to pay a close attention to this lesson. First thing we'll be talking about here is programming shape. Now, when we say programming shapes are flowchart symbols that allow programmers represent the flowchart and control structure of a program. Now, you heard programmer. A programmer is a person who creates computer programs like software developer, software engineer. So programming shapes are shapes that help us to prepare a flow chart. I will say it again. Programming shapes are shapes that help us to prepare a flow chart. That's why we'll say programming shapes are flow chart symbols that allow programmers to represent the flow and control structure of a program. These shapes, which allows the programmer to connect activities on the flow chart. So these shapes we are talking about helps the programmer to connect activities on a flow chart. There are different types of programming shapes. Now let's see some examples of programming shapes. Don't forget, the programming shapes helps us to prepare a flow chart. You can see some examples of programming shapes. The first one here, we have the start, which is also known as the end. We have the process. Then we also have the input and output. We have the display. We have the decision. We have the connector. These shapes help to prepare a flow chart. These shapes help the programmer to prepare a flow chart. Don't forget, a programmer is a person who creates computer programs, which is known as software developer or software engineer. In our next class, I will be telling you what we can use all these shapes for. Now let's do a recap of today's lesson. First, we talk about programming shapes, and we said programming shapes are flowchart symbols that allow programmers to represent the flow and control structure of a program. And we also went further by defining a programmer. We said a programmer is a person who creates computer programs such as software developer and software engineer. And we also talk about the examples of programming shapes, and we also said we have different examples. We have the start, which is also known as the end. Then we also have the process. We have the decision, and we also have the display, the input and output of different shapes. We've come to the end of this lesson. I can't wait to see you in my next class, where we'll be explaining on how to use the shapes and also on how to use the shapes to make a flow chart. It's time to say goodbye. Don't forget to put in your comment in the comment section. Bye.